Hi, it's Janice Dru-Bennett, and it is Wednesday, July 14th, 2021, and we are going into the 10th session of our career shift lift system, as well as our social shift lift system. And in this session, we will focus on getting results and improving your social presence through tracking and measuring, building consistency, and achieving more. As we've talked about in past sessions, the first 2 weeks, we focused on creating a roadmap and envisioning our future. And then we spent the next 2 weeks expanding our network and identifying ways to find the people that would help us grow. And in these last 2 weeks, we are focused on getting results and improving our social presence by accessing the right resources, learning new skills, improving our social reach, establishing key wins and successes. And in this particular session, we'll be focusing on tracking and measuring to get those results. Before jumping into the rest of the session, I am going to take 2 minutes with you for silence and just to clear your mind as we've done in past sessions, and really focus on your breath and emptying your mind so that we can jump into the rest of the training with a clear and focused perspective. So I'm going to start the clock. And jumping right into today's training, the focus is on consistency. And this is something that was discussed briefly at the Clubhouse session that we talked about personal branding and building your social presence. And someone mentioned that she would really like to have consistency in what she's building. And whether you're focused on improving your career or landing a new role or whatever your goals are around social impact or work, having daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual tracking can help you see what you've done and see what you plan on doing and really keep on track. And so with the career shift template and the social lift template, I've added tabs for specifically tracking on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. For those focused on their career, there's also a jobs tab. And for those focused on their social impact, there's a mission tab. And then there's also people and KPIs. And as you look at the difference between the jobs and the companies versus your mission and your organizations that you're aligned with, you may have a different ideal mantra as it relates to your job or your mission, and kind of figure out exactly what your ideal either position or title might be, or what your ideal organizations or missions might be that you want to support, and when did you last take action. In the weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual trackers, there are also specific dates that yield what you plan to do and what did you get done to track in these spreadsheets. At the end of each week, you can plan what you're going to do and then identify what you completed in the prior week. Similarly, with the month, there's the last date for each month on the tracker, and then you can identify what you did, what you plan to do, what notes that you completed within that month. Similarly with the quarterly and the annual, as well as noting any key wins, and you can add the key wins into your daily or your monthly or your quarterly as well, or your weekly, just to kind of keep yourself motivated as you identify what are the key wins that you've completed and accomplished each at each of these timeframes. And as I've mentioned in past trainings, thinking even farther ahead, what are your 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, 40-year, or even 50-year kind of vision to really think farther ahead, and knowing that the UN Sustainable Development Goals has a 2030 agenda, putting that there and really assessing how the world is doing as it associates with those particular goals. That's something that I put onto this overall tracker, and you can make a copy of the template and the specific tabs and build out your own trackers. Similarly, with the both career shifters and social lifters, there's the people tracker and the KPI tracker. And so thinking about who you want to meet at any given time and tracking them as you have, spoken with people that you've met with, or putting on your calendar when you want to reconnect with someone, really putting it on this document can help you remind yourself to do that. With the KPIs and OKRs as well, having specific dates for assigning your objectives and key results that you're looking to achieve, as well as what are the key performance indicators that you want to hit and did you actually achieve them. As some tips and tricks for keeping yourself consistent, I like to set calendar reminders, as I've mentioned before, and put the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual goals in a daily reminder, or putting in at certain timeframes what those weekly goals are or monthly, and having them recur on your calendar at a certain time that reminds you what you've said that you would like to get done. As well as creating phone alarm reminders. And one hack is to rename your alarm a specific thing. So if in the morning you want to remind yourself to write down your daily goals, or check in, or do something that you wanted to remind yourself from the day before, you can do something at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, at the end of the day. I also like to put in alarm breaks to get up and walk around. So there's different ways to get you to do things on a regular basis, and your phone alarms can often also be tagged to go off on a certain time of week as well. So if there's a specific thing that you want to do on a weekly basis, like looking at your financials, carving out those time blocks as well for focus time. And I know when we're planning things or we're in meetings all day, it might be more difficult to carve out that time. And so blocking it off on your calendar and preserving that time can also be very productive. Having an accountability partner is also another way, whether it's a coworker or someone who you met through a networking event who you align with, or there's groups out there that you can also have accountability groups. And so I really recommend telling someone what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it, as a way to be kept accountable. And calling and texting on a regular basis is the way I've done it in the past, in terms of making sure that I hit some goals and continue to keep myself on track, as well as joining masterminds or group coaching, as well as finding mentors and personal coaches. And in the career shift hacks and social lift hacks template, I encourage people to add their comments in terms of anything else that works for you to maintain your consistency. And to wrap up the session, I would encourage you to connect with me on social media, including LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as taking your bank code assessment if you haven't already at crackmycode.com/INKWHY. And I hope to see you at the next session.